Hi everybody, thank you so much for joining today. My name is Ashley Johnston. I'm a Regional Sales Manager for PlanGrid Canada. Today I'm going to show you PlanGrid's construction field productivity tool application. I'm going to demo today on the iPad, so let's dive into it. So what PlanGrid does is we actually take all of your construction documentation and put it into one central location. So as you can see on the iPad here, I've got a multitude of different projects. So depending on what I'm working on at any given time, I can have multiple different projects that I can access, and I can collaborate with all of my different teams. So a couple things I'll show you when we're on this main page here. If I have projects that are downloaded on my device, it's exactly what it sounds like. They're downloaded on my device, I can access them anywhere, so whether or not I have Wi-Fi connection, I can still do my work, I can still mark up, I can still annotate on my project, and then once I go ahead and connect to a Wi-Fi setting, all of my systems are going to sync and update. So PlanGrid becomes really powerful depending on where you're going to be. You can always access the information that you need. So I'm going to show you this first project here that I'm going to dive into. So now I've got my sheets that have been loaded up on my project. What our system does during an initial upload is it actually scans and reads all of the sheets and all of the information on those sheets. So if I take this one, for example, I zoom in, right? What our system is doing is it's actually reading that title block in the bottom corner. So it's knowing whether it's an architectural drawing, an electrical drawing, and it's also knowing what version of that drawing it is. And again, that's through OCR technology. It's also reading all of that information that's on your sheet, so that it almost becomes like a Google search where you can use this toolbar up in the top and you can literally search for anything on that sheet. You can search door, you can search a reference number, you can search a specific area on the drawing to access the information that you want, okay? Another thing to note here on the sheets is you can actually see when I'm zooming in, everything loads very quickly. There's not a lot of time for rendering, it's not getting pixelated when you're opening it, so you can get the information very quickly, okay? So if I go back to my main page here, you can see a few things on this area. You can see that underneath the sheets, you can have different revisions of these sheets. So let me just show you here. So underneath each of these sheets, you can see there's like V6, V7. That's showing you the different revisions of that drawing. So every time a new sheet gets uploaded into PlanGrid, our system reads that again and categorizes exactly where it needs to go. So let's say I'm working on this E2.00 drawing, and I can see underneath that it has 7 versions of the drawing. If I click on it, right, I can scroll from the bottom up. It's going to load that old version of that drawing, but you can see in the top left-hand corner, it's always going to notify me that I'm not working on the most current set. So gone are the days where you are worried, does everybody have the most latest set of drawings? We know that the teams have the most latest set of drawings because you've uploaded them into PlanGrid and you have access to them. Okay? So let's show you some features that get most of our clients super excited about here. All right, so let's go to PA2.01. Sorry, wrong sheet there. Okay, so, if I zoom in here, right, you can see you've got all my different call-out bubbles. During an initial upload of PlanGrid, our system automatically hyperlinks those call-out details. So that work is done automatically for you. So any of these call-out bubbles that I click on, it's going to allow me to jump to that specific sheet. So if I go jump to sheet, you can see that it's taking me to that next sheet. If I zoom in again, let's say I'm working on this area and I want to jump to another sheet on the drawing, I just can go jump to sheet and it's actually going to jump me to the next sheet. So this saves everybody a ton of time in flipping back and forth through their papers, trying to access the drawings. They can have it all at their fingertips, okay? So let's show you our markups and our annotations, okay? So if I go into this sheet, let's find a nice clean sheet here for us, okay? So let's say I'm working on this drawing for an example. Over on the right-hand side, again, you can see I'm going to zoom in, right, so I can see everything that I need to. On the right-hand side of PlanGrid, you're going to see your annotation toolbar. At the bottom, you've got a multitude of different color options that you can choose from. So let's say I want to choose red, because that's how our company typically works. At the top, I've got a clouding tool, so if I want to cloud over a specific area, I can do so by just literally dragging my finger and dropping it over the area that I'd like. I can then use the arrow tool if I want to point to something that's specific on the area. If I now want to go and I want to actually change the colors, I can do so, but now I want to actually change blue. So let's say I want to use my highlighting tool because I want to show an area that's highlighting for the day. Okay. I also have a talk to text feature. So this is really great in like pre-construction meetings. Maybe you're doing a site walkthrough with the site superintendent and you want to capture your notes. What I hear from everybody is that typically they're doing that on a piece of paper and then they're trying to run back to the office and look at their notes and understand their chicken scratch. But with PlanGrid, you can actually just put the information on the sheets. And then if you got to go back and you got to do an email or something like that, you can. So you can see, you can type in here. If you have Siri with the iPad, you can use the dictation feature. Again, the guys love that. If it's super cold out, they can save their fingers from having to type. They can just talk to text. Okay. We've also got some other features. So maybe there's a specific area that you don't want the team to work in for the day. You can exit that area. So, just again, it's supposed to be felt like a paper and pen, just like what they would typically use in today's industry. So the next thing I want to walk you through is one of our highly used features, which is our punch list icon. So the punch list is great, obviously deficiencies and issue tracking. Historically, a lot of our clients are using Excel spreadsheets, or different documents that they're trying to track all this information. With PlanGrid, you can actually just put all of your issues right on the drawing where they're referencing. So I'll walk this through. So it's actually a boxing glove, signifies punch list. These are all completely customizable different issues that you can use. So again, our teams, our companies that we work with will create their own issues. They'll customize them with color codes, really make them specific to their organization and what's going to work for them. So let's say I'm the site superintendent and I'm doing my walkthroughs for the day and I notice that there's been some trade damage or there's some, an area of issue on the drawings. Again, what I can do is I can actually just stamp it specifically in that area that it pertains to on the drawing. And what it's going to do is it's actually going to pull up a dialog box for me that's going to allow me to fill out some information about that issue. So what I can do is I can actually create an issue list. So if I want to put it onto a specific list, so maybe it's for the, the subcontractor, right? Right, so I want to do, the subcontractor list. I can create a specific list for that subcontractor, and that issue that I've now punched in the drawing will be created on that specific list for them, okay? If I want to change the status of that issue, I can change it to in review, right? I can assign it to somebody. So if I have a bunch of people that are on my project team, I can go ahead and I can assign that to Tracy on my project team because she's responsible for all the damage on the project. If there's a cost impact that's been associated to it, I can toggle that on. Again, I'm going to put my description. So this is where you're going to put in what is the description of the trade damage that's actually happened on that job site. So again, we want you to put as much information in here so that the person who's actually receiving the deficiency that needs to act on it has so much information to actually be able to do the job, right? Then they can add a photo, right? So again, this becomes critical for having that information all in one place. So if I want to take a photo, right, I can just go ahead. You can see we're at a trade show here, right? I can take a photo, right? If I use the little red squiggly line in the top right-hand corner, it's going to actually allow me to annotate on that photo. So if I want to circle a specific area, I can then circle, and draw attention to where that area is on the drawing. So now Tracy, who's responsible for that trade damage, she's going to get a notification saying that there's been an issue that's been assigned to her. It's on a specific location of the drawing. It also has a photo showing you what that trade damage actually looks like. And then you can also add, some different comments and commentary back and forth. If you're communicating and you have questions and things, you can all do that, and it can all be tracked and logged in here. Another great part is that this is all time stamped, right? So you know who did it, when they did it, what time they did it, and all of that history is going to be tracked in PlanGrid. Okay? So now you can see that that issue is staying there on that drawing. Okay? Okay, another feature that I want to kind of run through with you is our manual hyperlinking tool. So the manual hyperlinking tool is used in a multitude of different ways. Again, PlanGrid really wants to be your complete record set for all your project documentation. So whether that's your cut sheets, your manuals, your inspection reports, your surveys, maybe it's meeting minutes, documentation, really anything you can think of, PlanGrid takes up to 28 different types of files that you can hyperlink to your drawings. So we want you to get all of that documentation in there. So let's say I'm working in this area of the building for the day. Let me just move up here. So now I can just literally drag whatever selection tool I want over top of the area, and it's going to allow me to link it to 3 different things. I can either link it to another sheet, I can link it to a document, or I can link it to an RFI if I have an RFI in here. So I'm going to choose document for today. Okay? As you can see, I have all these different subfolders that are going to allow me to choose whatever document I want to attach it to. So let's say I'm going through and I've got, this, let me see, this, project specifications, for example. So let's say I want to, put that in there. So now you can see that it's hyperlinked to the drawing. So I can just now go to jump to documents, and now I have access to this document at my fingertips, so I can read it. So gone are the days again where, I need that information, or I need that manual, or I need to figure out what that is. You've got to go back to the job trailer, or you've got to email somebody to find that information and get them to send it to you. Now, hyperlink everything to the drawings. If you need further information, you can have it right there. Like I mentioned, you can also do images, videos, anything you can really think of, you can hyperlink that to the drawings. Okay? A couple other things I'll show you here from a filtering capability. So like we mentioned earlier, PlanGrid is reading all of your sheets during an upload. So it's intelligent to know if they're electrical drawings, are they architectural drawings, and so you can use our filtering tool to be able to look at something specific. So if maybe you're doing a walkthrough for the day and you're just working with the electrician and you just want to look at the electrical drawings, I can then choose electrical, and it's actually going to filter out all of the other drawings that I don't need to see. So you can see it's just going to show me the electrical drawings. You can also create your own custom tags. So if you wanted to create a tag, for instance, for a phase of a project, that's something else that you can do within PlanGrid. So you can really customize it to suit your needs and how you do your current work today, your current workflows. All right. Another function I want to show you that gets our clients really excited is actually our sheet overlay. So sheet overlay is a great way to be able to either, you can either overlay an old version to a new version of a sheet. So obviously we know we get lots of different revisions and we want to be able to see what's changed. So you can overlay an old sheet to a new sheet. You can also overlay 2 different types of sheets. So let's say you want to overlay an architectural drawing and electrical drawing because you want to see for your installations. So let's say I pull up this reflected ceiling plan here, okay? I use the top right-hand corner, you can see the 2 little rectangles, and it's going to allow me to choose the sheet that I want to compare it to. So let's say I want to take my electrical drawing, so I can search for my electrical drawing, right? So E2.00, okay? It's going to find that electrical drawing, and what it's going to do is it's actually going to overlay that electrical drawing on top of the architectural drawing. You can see that things don't align perfectly. So what you can do is you can actually align the sheets. So you can find a corner that makes it easy for them to be aligned, right? So you go to Align Sheets. Then you can actually take it, and you can see I'm moving my finger around, and I'm actually just going to align the sheets perfectly over top of each other. Okay, I hit Align, and now I can zoom in, and I can see, again, the electrical over the architectural. Usually customers get really excited when we show this feature. It saves a ton of time. And the old days of the lights and the holding the light over to see what's changed in the drawings. So we're really excited about that feature. Okay, we talked a little bit about issues again, and how we're keeping those issues and we're tracking those issues. PlanGrid is going to obviously have a record of all of those issues as you're putting them in. So on the bottom right-hand corner, you can see the boxing glove again. This is when I want to be looking at all of my issues as a whole. So you can see at the top I can sort by the number, I can sort by the due date, I can sort by the status of the issue as well. So if you scroll down again, you can see here's the job safety issue. It's showing you the date that it's been assigned. It's showing you the person that it's been assigned to, and it's actually showing you the specific sheet that it's been assigned to as well. all of this information, again, because you're tracking it during the entire life cycle of the project, it's available to be able to report on. So it's going to either take all this data and export it into an Excel file, and you can obviously take that data and you can manipulate it however you want, add your logo in, things like that, or you can export it into a PDF file, and the PDF file is going to give you actually a snapshot of what sheet it's on. It's going to give you all of the description of that deficiency and any pictures that you took along with that deficiency. And so that report can be used, obviously, to share with the team, and looks really good when you're trying to present it to different parties or an owner or something like that. Okay. What else do I want to show you here? We also have field reports that's available in PlanGrid as well. Field reports is a recently launched feature within PlanGrid. This is really a file area where companies can upload their own different types of reports that they currently have today. Maybe it's an inspection daily report that they need to fill out, a quality report, whatever type of report you can think of, you can put it in PlanGrid, you can fill it out on PlanGrid, you can share it directly from here. So this is, again, a new feature. I think that gives you, a pretty good sample of, again, some of the high-level features of what PlanGrid can do. We certainly have a lot more. We're constantly innovating every 2 weeks. We have a fantastic research and development team that actually comes from construction, so they know, what our customers are looking for, and they're always looking to bring, the latest and greatest features out to the market. A couple other last things I'll note, we have award-winning customer service, so we're available for our clients if they want to chat in with us, if they have questions, you can access them, essentially 24/7. We have great resources like help@plangrid.com where you can get tutorials and how-to guides on how to use the product, or certainly you can reach out to your local rep who would be happy to answer any questions that you have. So I hope that helped you learn a little bit more about PlanGrid. Feel free to go to plangrid.com, download your 21-day free trial, upload your sheets, and play around with it. Thank you so much.